like, you know, Mac's been able to perform on a huge stage, but he's helped our business transcend, and our practice and belief in what we do transcend as well. So just 3 people, just that shows consistent effort anywhere in life. You can do something remarkable. Yeah. So that's our message in a way, isn't it? I think I mentioned it on the radio interview that we had, is like, just stick at something and be fully invested in it and just keep going. And it's going to be painful, but when you stack it up over a long period of time and a big time horizon, you can do freaking anything. Hey guys, Aaron and Ninja here from MMT. This is part 2 of a reflection of our trip to the SuperBowl in San Francisco. Part 1 was all about the week leading in, so if you haven't watched that yet, go back and watch that. We'll put a link here. But this is about game day, okay? So the Sunday, February 8th, we were at the SuperBowl. But first, Ninj, I want to talk about how you even got there. Yeah. Because you were the most nervous bloke going to America on the Wednesday.
I was Bruce there,
Can you tell them a little bit about why you were nervous? While I treat your shoulder, I'll try not to block you out.
I suppose, well, in November 2019, Aaron and myself, we flew to LA. We're going to go over to Philadelphia to see Mac. It was the second trip. And I said, I'm over here working with Mac. And that was the wrong thing to say because I was just on a holiday visa. So very naive and, just got detained and in custody.
Literally in jail.
Yeah, and flown back to Melbourne. So I had my tail between my knees and I was very embarrassed, I suppose. It was a bit of a humiliation thing that I didn't have the right visa. And I kind of... This time around, I was very nervous. I hadn't been back there since because I was too gun shy. And this time I made sure I had the right visa and had my story straight.
Made the right story.
And all that kind of stuff. And the bloke asked me, what do you do for work? He's like, I just do a bit of massage and a bit of training. Played it down a bit. And then, he said, what are you over here? I'm just over here with my friends. I see the SuperBowl. And what do your friends do for work? The same thing.
Yeah.
Said, you enjoy your holiday and things like that. So I was like, but I thought I was going to get through and just go,
yeah.
Something like this. Just let off some steam and just, it was just very anticlimactic.
Life goes on.
Yeah, life went on. There was nobody there to...
No sign.
No limo to pick me up or anything. You know what I mean? No one holding a sign saying Ninja.
Oh, that's
but it was fine. Just got my my way to where these guys were staying. They were at the gym, and I kind of went to the accommodation. I scared the shit out of Ash.
Yeah.
She go, whoa! What are you doing here? I was just sitting in the dark, and she went to Whole Foods, and I just scared the shit out of her. So. But that was the start of it. So
so you were there. So we've already recapped the Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yep. But Sunday, we woke up pretty early, didn't we, Ninj? Yep. We were keen as mustard. Wanted to get down there.
Yeah. So got up at 6, left home about 7 or so. We wanted to get to the game. It was like an hour and a half way on the train.
Yeah.
And but we had a bit of a scenario with this at this point too, because there was. We thought we had 4 tickets and there was 5 people.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so the night before we got on Ticket Hub and bought ourselves another ticket.
Yeah,
so
spent a small fortune.
Yeah, so it was more than the other ones, 4 combined. Yeah, I suppose. So, but at least we knew we all had tickets.
Yeah,
and so we got to the place, wasn't it? And
got to Santa Clara. Silicon Valley or something.
Yeah.
Or sorry, it was Levi Stadium. The jeans.
Levi jeans. Yeah. I didn't even know they still made jeans. Thought that was my era. So we got to the game, and I suppose we're nervous because the 4 tickets hadn't come through yet.
The only ticket we had was the one that we bought.
So at least one person knew we'd get in, but we're thinking, who do we split up? Because we had. The other ticket was like a few.
True.
Yeah, so it was all this, who draws the short straw, I come late, Ash was there with Aaron, we can't split them up, it sort of was all this, who was it? It was kind of between me and Das, I suppose, who was probably going to sit by themselves. So, and I thought I was going to take it, Das called and thought he was going to take it, and anyway, Aaron opens up his emails, there's bloody 5 tickets there.
Little present from Mac that he didn't tell us about. Yeah. So then we had an extra ticket that we'd paid a small fortune for. So we were, it was weird because we finally felt, okay, cool, we're here. And then we had to figure out, all right, we need to sell this ticket because we didn't want to have this money just going to nothing. So luckily we ended up finding an Aussie bloke and sold it for relatively close to what we paid for it. So, but then we were in. Yeah. But still 3 hours to the game.
Yeah.
So we got a frothy.
Yeah.
You got a wine.
Yeah. Barefoot
wine. Put a picture of that
it's
up.
always nice to kind of when your ticket works and we could go through.
Yeah.
And,
When we were in, we were in.
yeah, we could relax.
Remember when I first scanned it and it
wasn't
said
working?
no? I was just like, oh God.
like it was just a screenshotted ticket or something like that. I think that's what they were saying, but no, it was legit. So it was like, yeah. So it was just a relief to get in, and there was like a carnival atmosphere there.
It
like
was crazy, wasn't it?
It was so nice just to be. Sun was out and just.
It's like a festival, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a festival.
So loud and.
Yeah, there was a concert playing. We didn't have tickets to that, but we could kind of hear it in the background, and just get drinks, and we had access to different like SuperBowl kind of activities, but we just sort of wanted to hang out and.
Well, I was getting a bit nervous.
Yeah.
Like I felt like closer to the game, I was getting a bit toey, just like how's it going to go? And the stadium was pretty impressive when we walked in. Hey, like does that blow you away a little bit?
Yeah.
Just how big it was.
Just to be there, and I suppose we were documenting it as well. We're going to our Instagram, Facebook stories, and that was really cool to kind of talk about the game, what we thought it was how it was going to unfold, and I just sort of wanted Mac to do well, and I predicted a touchdown. I wrote on the board in there, me and Leo, before I left. I'm going to get through security.
And then Max scores a touchdown.
Max scores a touchdown and Patriots win, but that wasn't the case. But I had my prediction. I said it on the SEN video.
You said it twice.
Said it twice.
In public, yeah.
In public, so we had to wait and see if that was going to come true.
Yeah.
But it was carnival atmosphere, we're in the sun, us 5 hanging out. So it was all this bonding stuff, this special memory we're going to have forever. It was cool.
It was awesome. And then the pre-game, that was pretty spectacular, wasn't it? Like the national anthem, and you Americans just do stuff like that so well. Like it was just incredible performance, just the way the ground was set up, and then the fighter jets coming over at the very end. Like the bloke sang such a good song, and I went to see Mac in 2019, and it was kind of a similar thing. And I just remember saying, like, you can see why the patriotism is so strong over there, because there's a power to the performance, isn't it? It's like a show of strength and just
unity and the Jets were loud, aren't they?
So
like,
loud
in person,
But then the game started, like the Patriots ran out, and that was even just like spine-tingling stuff. Just seeing Mac run out, knowing we were there to support him, it was epic. But then for the next 2 hours, it was pretty flat, wasn't it, Nick?
Yeah.
Like the Patriots just had a stinker, absolute stinker.
Couldn't get anything going.
Got to half time, and we were like, "Wow, we just don't know where it's going to come from." But then we had the halftime show, Bad Bunny. I really liked it. You, Niz? Did you think it was pretty cool?
Impressive, wasn't it? Like just the choreography or whatever you call it, just how I thought it was pre-edited and pre-filmed.
Oh, you reckon?
You know what I mean? That's how I'm looking at it on the screen, because you couldn't see, because there are all these people in the forest suits, tree suits. But it was actually live.
It was live
on the board. So he was just kind of going through the thing, the forest, and live performance. So but the dancing and that was really cool. Wasn't it? The Latino kind of.
They can move, can't they?
Yeah, but all together, it looks
cohesion.
good. Yeah,
it's
kind of all moving the same way, and really cool.
And then the second half started, and it was pretty much like the first half. The third quarter was flat. But I remember at one point I turned over to Ninja, and Ninja's praying and got his organiser out.
I was just putting in the sun.
We both got our organiser, doing our thing here. We wear every day.
Come on, just wanted something, didn't we?
But I remember I turned to Ninja and I just said, it can't be like this. Like the way Mac is, he's a performer, and he just gets stuff done at the most clutch times. He's always been like that. He doesn't get the target share of a standard wide receiver, but when he does something. And I remember saying, like, something has to give, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, and you were praying and you said, no, he's going to do something. And then within the space of 30 seconds in the fourth quarter, he just blew the game apart for the Patriots, at least. He just, 2 of the biggest catches, one of them being a touchdown, back to back, right after a streaker as well. So that might have been the thing that we needed. But we just went mental. didn't we? Just
Ballistic.
absolutely mental. Yeah. Ash, my partner, she pissed herself.
So excited.
Oh, and
That's
it was
memorable.
I can't even. I think there was just the satisfaction that something happened and he did it and he showed the world, and especially the people that were watching on our behalf. It's like the Patriots didn't play well, but they were there to watch Mac and support us, and he turned it on. And it wasn't just a standard regulation catch and touchdown. They were big plays.
Yeah.
And
complex, wasn't it? Hard.
and just to know we were there is something that we'll cherish forever, won't we, man? Literally forever.
Pure elation.
Yeah.
That's like, you can't get any, it's peak, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was totally peak. Like, we just sort of couldn't believe that it actually happened.
Yeah.
After such a boring, dull, frustrating, wasn't it?
So
they couldn't even get 2 yards in three.
I know.
Yeah.
So I think they had
Things
like
that.
60 yards of total offense to the 12-minute mark in the fourth quarter, and then he got 65 yards himself on that in that 30-second drive.
Yep.
So that's how big it was at the right time. And there was a part of the game there where Patriots were on top, and we thought they can win this. And Mac thought it as well when we spoke to him after the game.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, they just threw a really bad interception, Drake May, and it was over. But yeah, he definitely turned the game, and it could have been completely different if they'd really capitalised on that last little bit. But we were flat, but also so pumped afterwards, weren't we?
didn't care.
Yeah, we
Didn't
were,
matter.
Yeah, our dude did his thing, and it was the most rewarding thing for us. So yeah, we left the game feeling pretty ecstatic, but the train ride definitely took a bit of a. We were kind of pumped, but then that just deflated us a bit, didn't it? We were knackered after that, and then Ninja ate someone's food at a Mediterranean restaurant. That perked us back up a little bit. I
Thought it was mine.
Yeah, he basically ordered food at this fast food joint, Mediterranean place, nice, and then 30 seconds after he ordered, someone came out of the kitchen like, yeah, here's a takeaway order, and Ninja's just like, oh, must be mine. Took 30 seconds to make. As you were eating it, though, you were like, this isn't mine. And then you just kept eating it.
I can't go back now.
And then some poor bloke rocks up, it's like, where's my food? Had to order again. Ninja finished his meal and then got his own delivered.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. But yeah, we that was the Super Bowl day, wasn't it, Ninja?
Yeah, I think just to kind of, for us, it was validation. So it was a 7-year journey, but it was full validation for this work, that it is effective, it works, and the power of being physically present with people. You know, like that is such a powerful thing, and we've kind of got all our resources. You know, our body work and our exercise technique, and we've got our breath work and our psychology work, how we collapse all our emotional charges and things like that, and get on track. But I think just the brotherhood that we've got, the mateship that we developed, that is where the magic happens. It's not necessarily with techniques and tricks.
No, it's going deep, and it's going the full yard.
Yeah.
It's like we weren't just there for body work. We were there to go fully deep into it, and he was receptive, and he was a sponge, and even things like wearing this every day together, like it's a symbolism thing of how much we care and how much we're invested, and it shows when you do get that buy-in from even just 3 people. You guys, like, you know, Mac's been able to perform on a huge stage, but he's helped our business transcend, and our practice and belief in what we do transcend as well. So just 3 people, that shows consistent effort anywhere in life. You can do something remarkable. Yeah. So that's our message in a way, isn't it? I think I mentioned it on the radio interview that we had, is like, just stick at something and be fully invested in it and just keep going. And it's going to be painful, but when you stack it up over a long period of time and a big time horizon, you can do freaking anything. So Mac's been a testament to that. And yeah, we just spoke to him this morning, and we feel like we're just getting started still, though. You know, he's got so much more to give, and we feel like we've got so much more to unpack and build in him. So keep an eye out for him next year at the Patriots, and keep an eye on the team, because I feel like we can definitely go, well, hopefully one step further.
Yeah. We're saying trajectory's still up. He hasn't peaked yet.
He's going into year 10 next year, and he gets better every year, which is not like normal careers, I guess. But yeah, like most men peak around mid-30s to late 30s, I believe, in terms of physical form and mental clarity and that kind of stuff. So he's 32, so we got plenty of time left. So
He's saying he might have 10 years.
10 years, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I could
God
see
willing,
it.
but yeah, if he got the desire there.
Wants the footy.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
So yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for sticking with us as well.
Yeah, exactly. Hope you enjoy that video that Leo is going to edit up a little bit for you. So appreciate that. See you guys.
Done.
Fucking let's go!